addressing some issues of national concern along with Representative Musa from District Number 7 in Nimba County. So at this time,
thank you very much, distinguished members of the Fourth Estate. First of all, I want to welcome you to this press briefing. And let me say, this is not a party thing. You see, I have at my left Musa Bility of the great people of Sakopin District in my country. He's not a member of the CDC, so this is not a CDC press conference. Yes, I am the chairman of the CDC Legislative Caucus, but we are here to discuss issues that affects the country as a whole. Dealing with two issues. One, the issue of the budget, and the issue of the dismissal of some Liberian citizens. So 6 years ago, I joined many lawmakers to issue a statement regarding the national budget. As journalists, I want to believe you have been following accusations and counter-accusations for both members of the legislature and members of the executive. In the past few days, you heard from the Minister of Finance, you heard from some members of the Budget Committee, and this is not my word. One of an interview conducted by a colleague of mine, Senator Francis Joko of Riwaji County, where he claimed giving our call for an investigation on allegations the budget, 2024 budget was altered. By whom, we don't know. We call for an investigation. In one of my calls, I asked members of the CDC caucus, because I directly represent them as my constituent, to say the reason why you want to recast the budget is because you think there's a problem. And the problem could be a recommendation from the executive. It could also be from an observation from the legislature. And I said in that recommendation or in that statement that given the level of allegations that the budget, the 2024 budget was altered, by whom we don't know. Therefore, an investigation was necessary, or is necessary, that we conduct a full-scale investigation to determine what actually happened to the 2024 budget. The allegations about the alteration, which suggests that the budget that has been operated today is not the budget that was filed by the legislature. And we therefore raise a serious concern. We ask for an investigation. The investigation, I will call the not accused member of the legislature or the executive, but the two branches were involved in crafting the budget. The legislature has the authority to appropriate, and not the executive. And when it is not determined, or is assumed, or alleged, or claimed by some people that members of the executive had assumed unto themselves the authority to appropriate, that is a crime. That is a budget manipulation. On the basis of those allegations, we ask for an investigation. And what is even more troubling is that some members of the legislature are now claiming, and they are on record, claiming that the executive did tamper with the budget. And therefore, I reinforce our call that the issue of investigation would be the premise for which any budget discussion should take place. Because we cannot proceed to do budget discussion on the basis that we don't understand what is happening. You want to come and recap the budget. You want to discuss 2025 budget. And if we don't know what happened to the 2024 budget, how do we proceed? And these are the questions that needs to be answered. So I want to take this time to thank firstly the Speaker of the House of Representatives, who has now said that they will proceed with an investigation. I also want to thank the pro tem of the Liberian Senate, who has said that an investigation will be conducted. But we want to urge the Senate, specifically to ensure that that investigation will precede a budget discussion. We still want to maintain that any budget discussion should be preceded by a full-scale investigation to determine whether or not the budget was tempered with. If the budget was tempered, who tampered with the budget? Because tampering with the budget or budget manipulation is a crime. It's a violation of a law that is tantamount to corruption. Because it's just to say that the same way people are auditing all the entities that money were allotted to them and they were mismanagement, is the same way we are now suggesting that we give people money, institutional money, and somebody went and transferred that money into another institution. That's a crime. So I'd like to stop here on this issue, on the first issue, to allow my colleague from the House of Representatives to also make introductory remarks. Then we can deal with the second phase of the issue, which has to do with the dismissal of civil servants on the basis of their personal opinion. Thank you very much. Mr. Bility.
Thank you, Senator. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Like the Senator said, I agree with the Senator 70%, the other 30%. In my mind, the alteration started in the legislature. As a member of the House of Representatives, it was my first time to hear about cap power in the budget last night. The Minister of Finance named cap power last night. And honestly speaking, I know him. He's a very respectable person. I got from the legislature what I use. So if the budget moves from one house to another and changes without the express consent of the other house, and then it is submitted, that's a crime. So the problem is that the legislature has no capacity or no moral rectitude to investigate this issue. We have the integrity institutions, which is the GAC and the LACC. A crime has been committed. And for us to sit here and talk about send our hand way to the executive, let's ask first what was submitted to the executive. The executive is not hiding what they received. So who gave it to them? Under what condition? What we sent to the Senate clearly is not what was sent to the mansion as the minister says. That becomes a matter of you say, I say. None of the group involved there or institution there have the capacity now under the doctrine of and the principle of fairness to say that they will investigate this matter. You cannot. The Liberian people deserve to be treated fairly. As I've always said to myself and to everybody, if we want to fix this country, the first place to fix at this building. As long as the legislature is what it is, the country is not going anywhere. So for me, good step, the speaker calling to investigate. I urge the speaker, and I've told him personally, that this matter cannot be discussed or cannot be investigated by our peers. We have institutions by law that are look at financial misappropriation, they are look at crime under the law, and therefore we should give it to them. I see senators, crisscrossing each other. I see representatives crisscrossing each other. That means we have a problem. And if we have a problem, what do? The institutions that we ourselves created to say when something goes wrong, they should check. People are being indicted today because GAC said they did. So, Imama, GAC seem to have a degree of credibility. Let's give it to them. Those who took our budget, carry it, and play with it before submitting it to the legislature, they must pay for it. And I'm calling on both houses to be clear on this issue. The next question will be, what budget are we recasting? Because what you sending to us is not what we send to you. So how can we even think about recasting? So if you receive it to recast it, it means that you have admitted that is what you send. So you have to investigate this matter before you even go into recast. If you don't do that, then 6 and 7. Secondly, this legislature has no history of taking issue from committee room and doing anything with it. Nothing. If you want kill it, I think they can send it in the committee room. So we know that there are attempts to bury this investigation. We know that this is the reason why the legislature is being stifled. This is the reason why since we entered this building, we have not received $1 for transportation. This is the reason why we don't have light in one part of the building. But we'll hold our ground. And there must be investigation. And I'll call on my brother, the senator from Margibi, to join me to call for investigation by the integrated institutions, so that when they bring that report, nobody will hold you responsible. Just imagine me sitting down on a committee and then go indict my colleague to say this man here is a criminal, he should be incarcerated. I mean, forget it, it's not going to happen. So if they are serious, and I call on the pro tem and the speaker, and like I said, I thank the speaker because he has indicated his willingness to investigate this issue. However, the route that you want to take, I ask him to take a recourse. Let us have the GAC of the LCC to investigate. It is a crime. The legislature does not have the statutory responsibility to investigate a crime. We do not have any authority to declare a matter a crime. Only the Ministry of Justice, the LACC, and the GAC can do that. Therefore, those who don't have the right to call a crime must be allowed to investigate and come back to us and tell us whether or not it was a crime. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just to elaborate on the issue of I did not listen to the Minister of Finance last night. As a member of the Senate, I can say for sure CAPA will never vote upon. What I know is that we'll give money to LEC, we'll never give money to CAPA. There's no record in the Senate, journal that would say that CAPA was in the budget. I did not listen to the Minister of Finance. The Minister of Finance said that even gave no reason why there should be an investigation. I want an investigation, independent investigation. I'm very open to that. But what I want to say, joining Mr. Bility and calling on my colleagues in the Senate and the entire legislature, including the Speaker, is that this matter is a serious matter. And this matter should be investigated. There should be no budget discussion until the matter is resolved. That is the way to go. And I want to believe that the pro tem will do the best she needs to do. She has started on the path of a reform in the Senate. And if we are moving forward, we gotta move forward with new determination to make sure that things are done the right way. There has to be a change in the budget discussion. I don't disagree with Mr. Bility, I want an investigation. I want an independent investigation. But the Senate first of all needs to establish that there's a need for an investigation, and the leadership and the Senate plenary will make a decision to transfer whether or not to transfer the investigation to the LSC. But that would be a good thing. We want independent, impartial investigation so that whoever did what, let us know, let Liberian people know something has gone wrong. If you listen to Francis Dopo, he said executive manipulated the budget. Now the finance minister say no, we were not the one that manipulated the budget, with their budget realignment. I don't know what they call realignment in budget. Even in the legislature, from our little man knowledge, we just end up about the practice here is, like Mr. Bility, Honorable Bility said, if there's a disagreement between the Senate and the House, there has to be a conference committee to resolve on the disagreement. So even if the executive realigned there was a mistake in the budget should have come back to the legislature for that correction to be made. They have no authority to go and do realignment of the budget. We don't know. When you do realignment, we don't know what realignment is. Whether you started shifting budget, you started shifting figures to non-area that the legislature had appropriated budget to, you started to do that. That is a problem. We want an investigation. We are determined that an investigation must happen, and we want to assure this body that we will not stop until there is an investigation. Their matter will not be swept under the carpet. It will be thoroughly investigated, the executive involved. And let's be clear, people want to politicize this thing. We have not. This is a matter between the executive, especially the Ministry of Finance, and the legislature. The president has nothing to do with it. We're not accusing the president. People want to politicize that. There's no one minister who tried to politicize the discussion. I don't know what is it that when you call for investigation, people are getting angry. People are investigating, the government is investigating people. But when you say investigate, people in the government angry with you. They say you should not talk about investigation. You don't have the moral ground to talk about investigation. But yet instead they are investigating past government officials. But current government official commits something or allegedly commits something. And people say don't investigate. When you don't investigate, don't bring investigation here. So what are we doing? What kind of country we want to run? And I think the president himself will take interest in the debate. Because I'm quite sure he himself is very confused about things he's hearing about budget being manipulated. You know, I went to imagine before. The people who can't get the budget, the minister, because we should call ourselves back. The legislature should call itself back now on the basis that there's a problem with the budget. The budget is the national instrument that runs the country. If there's a problem and there's a debate, you get lawmaker accusing executive accusing lawmaker. What we need to do is to call ourselves back, correct? We don't have to wait for the executive to call us back. We can call ourselves back and say, you know what? Let this thing be discussed. Because we're not coming, somebody call and say, executive calling the country. Recast on what basis? What are we recasting? Let me say, I think the premise for a recall has been determined by the fact that there are accusations from both lawmakers and members of the executive, specifically Ministry of Finance people, now saying the budget was tampered with. It is necessary. So I want to thank you on this note. On the other note, we want to also condemn the fact that people in this country have a right to freedom of speech, and people should not be discriminated because of expressing their opinion. We think the CSA director is assuming unto himself power that he does not have. In fact, CSA was created in 1986 by constitutional argument, correct? 1986 constitutional by CSA, correct? CSA. One of the commission, election commission, GSC, and the CSA were the three commissions that were created by the special concern. That this issue has to be dealt with in the appropriate manner and disposed of in the appropriate manner. Then we can proceed with debate of the budget. And I think this debate is necessary so that it can change the way budget process has been done in this place for over the century. The way budget process has been managed in this legislature, probably there has been problem. Now we can see the problem. And we think it is necessary to do that. So we'll end here and take questions.
You take 5 questions.
Question will only be limited to the topic. Don't bring questions from outside and I part of the topic.
5 questions. Point.
Thank you
Get
so
back
much.
on your ability, get back on your.
Thank you so much, Senator and Representative Musa Bility. My name is Strokon Flammer and I report for Spoon Network. We listen to your colleagues, including you, talk about the alleged manipulation of the budget. Can you be specific? What specific lines you think that were altered within the budget? Maybe you can just say one or two things.
Well, listen, we don't want to go into detail. The investigation will determine that. We'll see cover investigation. That take it step by step. The investigation will tell you full detail what budget line was manipulated. Now you see, our ability myself not on the budget committee. Maybe get different answer, but the answer I will give you, we're not on the budget committee. But people on the budget committee saying that budget was temporary. So they know what happened to the budget. So they need for an investigation. So we can't tell you that they allow a temporary, they allow a temporary, allow a temporary. What is it the investigation will determine that the reason why you send people in to go and audit the process. This is auditing the process. If they audit the process and come out, then we will all know which line was temporary. We assume that the value is around 20 million or more. Some people saying 6 million, some people saying 21 million. Somebody told me today were around 40 million. These are all figures go through in the air, but something happened. So
Follow up,
please.
Yeah, on that same thing. We are not pointing finger at anyone. When we are saying the credibility of our budget is in question. Clearly, there are allegations and counter allegations as to what is the actual amount that was passed by the House. With that instrument, which is a legal instrument, coming into question, and everybody claiming different figures, the easier thing and the best, the most prudent thing to do is to clarify that. You don't do that clarification through self-assessment. You give it to the integrity institution, and they come back to say, this is what happened, this is what happened. So it will name figure, it means that we are making allegations. We are saying that the budget represents us, it must represent us, and if there are issues with it, those issues need to be clear.
Follow up to that question about the budget clarification stuff. So it seems that both Senator McGill and Representative Bility have not seen this alleged tampering. It's just been heard. You've not done your own assessment to know whether this thing actually happened. But here you are, very convinced that there must be an investigation and there's something wrong. I don't get that. Do you want the committee to operate on hearsay, or what are you carrying to them to investigate?
No, listen to me. There are complaints. Some are calling. First, they complaints on the sick. When you make complaint and you say push to investigate, that means you are suspected something. When you suspect something, you want an investigation. So the Amara Cohen wrote a complaint on July the 6th. A complaint that there are allegations and he can prove it that the budget was temporary. And we are interested in that investigation. Labrenpo are interested in that investigation. Labrenpo hearing the story, they're not seeing the budget, but they are interested. So you can't say Labrenpo because they are not seeing the story, they should not have interest. Your question almost suggesting that Labrenpo should not have interest in it because they are not seeing it. So anybody who has not seen the budget being manipulated should not have interest. That is your question. And I think that question is faulty. When people raise issues that affects you, you ask questions and you want investigation so you can determine what happened. But assume because I see it, so I should not ask questions. That's a faulty question. That's a faulty assumption. What I'm saying as a senator, when people on the budget committee and can't say that the budget was temporary, what do you think should happen? You a journalist, you don't want investigation. Why do you think people go and audit? When you say 40 million meeting somewhere, you can see it, you can be there, allegation. What the news you can carry, you can see the news, you can see the allegation, and you can be reporting it. I'm asking you, the news you can report, you can see it, the story you can report, you can see the story. You can hear somebody say so, you made a story big. You know what you can do?
Boy, my young man, Senator, let me say this to you. I don't know if you are a journalist here. I mean, assigned in the capital. But there are two committees of this house, this branch of government, that are representative and representation of all the things, they call them the PAC. The chairperson of the two committees have written the very plenary that there were alterations. Senator Connor is the chairman of PAC from the Senate, and Representative Gar is the chairman of PAC from the House. Both of them have alleged alteration. So what you want to do now? The rest is an investigation. So hearing from my friend, I'm sorry, it's not a hearsay. If I hear from you, then I hearsay. But the man who is charged with the statutory responsibility to audit our financial activity has brought a professional opinion, both of them, that something is wrong. If we don't do it, we are guilty. Believe me. If we don't investigate this thing, then we are inept, we are professional, unprofessional, and we are guilty of the crime. Because those are the only two bodies in this building that have the responsibility and the authority to question financial matter. That has been done. So that's a trigger. There has to be an investigation.
Obadiah Johnson from West Africa newspaper. Your call may actually sound like a melody in the ears of some of your constituents, but on the contrary, your critics may think that the both of you have questionable character or integrity, since in fact you have been allegedly linked to multiple criminal offenses leading to the sanctioning of one of you. What do you think?
Next question.
No. We'll answer you. My friend, don't move your journalist hard and we're political hard. At the end of the day, people, this man has been accused. You have a government in place who has cared nothing or less about asking the accuser to adduce the evidence against him. He has cried for that, and he's yet to get it. Okay? He has a fiduciary responsibility to his people. And he has come here to say, in defense of his constitutional obligation to the people, that something is wrong. And as a journalist, your response is to question his character, even though you have nothing to show as to whether or not that is true or false. I think that is unprofessional.
It makes me think.
Let me finish. Excuse me. Let me finish answering you. You ask a question, you are not interrupted, so you cannot interrupt it. That particular question is unprofessional. If you want to ask me a question, bring your allegation. This man is an opposition. Can I government here? Don't you think? Can't you go ask the Minister of Justice that this man has been accused? Why you are not coming after him? Can we do that? Can you leave from here and go to Cinco and ask Minister Tue what that has not happened? Or can you go to the American embassy and ask them to whether they have transferred the evidence to the government for prosecution? And then we're talking about budget affecting our people's life. Then you bring that issue and bring the issue of credibility.
The first thing, let me say, Musa, the first thing is my constituent don't listen. I won with more than 52,000 votes when I ran on no allegation. So my constituent, first of all, they don't even consider your comment to be anything serious because they are more knowledgeable. If they were not knowledgeable, they said they wouldn't have voted for me. The same year to kind of defend them, even in the face of allegations, say go and defend us, and that's my job to defend them. You know, it go back to your question of your friend. If you don't see allegations, then why are you taking interest? So it appears that the media, some of you guys in the media only love gossip. Go make allegations, you're not interested in knowing the fact, but you're interested in following up with the gossip. And I don't let it dwell on the sanction thing because it's been more than 1 year. The American people put me on sanction, they will deal with it. they restricted me, so I can't travel to go to America. They will deal with it. They have the authority to deal with that. So I'm not going to deal with that thing, but I'll deal with the situation in Liberia. When crimes are committed in Liberia, the Liberian government, look, when I've said to the government of Liberia, I welcome even the audit of the Ministry of State. I welcome the investigation. I've said Liberian officials, past and present, should be held to account for their stewardship. And people should not be afraid. People should not be afraid to account for their stewardship. When people call you, go and answer questions. The day I'm called, I will go and answer questions. But until then, I'm a free man. Under our laws and constitution, is a man is presumed innocent until proven guilty. The responsibility, if there's an allegation, in the first place, I have no allegation on me in the Republic of Liberia. Since I was born, nobody have accused me of a crime in this country. And I'm proud of that. Yes. Forget about what happened in a different country. The matter between different country and myself. So it don't depend on that. You'll get issue, you'll go bring it. You'll get issue. People will not use it. What you're trying to do here is to use this allegation against me to silence me. But that's a mistake. It's a mistake. You can't silence McGill. I will never be silent. I will speak out. I will speak out. I've been hearing all sorts of news about the McGill employed people. They were indicting. I said, oh, you want indicting for employing people? I will not even take bond. If it's indicting for employing people, I will not take bond, I'll go to jail. Like when you can come, I'll go to jail, I'll go to jail. Even if you're free me, I will not come to jail. That's what I'm saying. Because these are just flimsy things people are looking for. We'll continue to speak out. I'm not afraid. I'm not one of the guys who are afraid. Who's afraid to go to jail? If I go to jail for the right thing, I will do that. But when I use things to allow my carry on and say, oh, my God, this, my God, that, people, my God, the past government. If you do something in the government, I will talk it. I will talk it. Don't say because somebody accused my God, so my God will not talk. If people do wrong thing in the government, I will say, look, my advice to the president, I've seen two presidents, President Taylor and President Weah. I was young around President Taylor, but I knew a lot of people around the president. Most of the people around the president, even today, most of the people around the president, they will do all the things, but then the president can't listen. The president can't listen. The people now who say, oh, the very president who I said, some people now say, oh, we told the president to do the president not listening, we told the president to do the president not listening. I seen it talking with Joseph Parker. The people around Joseph Parker who doing the wrong thing, people around the president. The president know most of the things people doing it. They'll be telling me the president do them, the president do it, but that president make me say, well, bad thing, you know what listening. So my man, that your question was my constituents are very happy with me. They are very happy, they are very excited about the job I'm doing. They will continue to defend me. They brought me here without any hesitation and they voted for me.
The last question.
So your question about what my constituents think, my constituents happy that I'm doing what I'm doing.
So I was informed so many people. Yeah. You are making a case that the House of Representatives submitted different figure or figure to the Liberia Senate, and this alleged corporation is coming from the Liberia Senate, taking into consideration the figure submitted from the House of Representatives is not the figure submitted to the executive from the Liberia Senate.
Okay. Thank God that what I'm saying is being recorded. I said and I repeat that the alteration, based on what I heard the Prime Minister say yesterday, the Prime Minister specifically mentioned car power. And, from a professional point of view, he made a statement that I believe that the budget that I'm using is the budget that I received from the next election for me to deal with. I trust him, I believe him, I do it. But he mentioned something that I know as a member of the House of Representatives I did not even discuss. Therefore, if he was placed there, then he was placed in the Senate. But again,
Say that too. So I didn't put it there.
exactly. You see there, I'm sitting out here with a senator who voted on the budget. He's saying, the same thing I'm saying. We found an item in the budget that the minister say he retract the budget he received. That item both of us don't remember even debating it. Therefore, somebody must have intentionally, unilaterally inserted that into the budget. The only solution to that is an independent investigation. But the House of Representatives is one step ahead of the Senate. Like the Senator said, the leadership of the House has decided to conduct an investigation. The moment the Senate makes the same decision, the both houses will get together to quickly determine what means investigation must be conducted. So I repeat, there is something in the budget now that the House did not put there. And if they did not put there, and the executive say that's how they got it, then me, my arrow is pointing to the Senate. And
that's a disagreement between
and the Senator and I don't agree.
I'm saying they said the not put power in the budget.
That's why we want to have budget.
They were not in the budget. So that Minister of Finance put in the budget.
Exactly. So that was we gotta investigate, my people. So your movement here today, yes, you even ask the Minister of Justice why he's not picking this up. Yes, you ask the LACC why they're not picking up. These are things. They remember now, 5 persons have been indicted, right? For crime committed in 2023. Good. I was the first person to openly say that that was a good thing. And that's how it should be. Every time government changes, the previous government should be indicted. I mean, investigated. If you are capable of committing investigating yesterday's crime, today's crime is a low-hanging fruit. You should be able to immediately pick it up and show your robustness. Your robustness should not just be targeted at yesterday. That's good to look at yesterday. But what about today? In the face of everything we are going through right now, there are allegations of fraud. What are we waiting for? And the executive have every authority through the GAC and the LACD or the Ministry of Justice to initiate investigation. What are they waiting for? Thank you.
The question of Libya, isn't your concern to you that a member of the budget committee can go on radio and accuse Ministry of Finance, a key member of the budget committee, and say that the alteration was done by the Ministry of Finance? Isn't your concern? The member on the budget committee, a senator, he's on recording. I'm not worried that is word. Now, two senior members of the legislature, chairperson of both the Public Account Committee have complained, made these allegations. And besides just their allegation, other members have come and affirmed and confirmed that something happened with the budget. You're not interested in that conversation. You were not interested. When they say have investigation, then people say no. The investigation is important. It is very important to know what happened. It is very important to know what happened. We want to go to the bottom of this to know what happened. Who authored the budget? The Minister of Finance come and say no. That budget was not authored by us. It was given to us as aid by the legislature. Remember, the legislature say no. It was you authored it. Isn't that our concern? Isn't that our concern that we should have this investigation? Because in the first place, it's not good for the image of the country. It's not good for the image of the country. To say the national budget was authored and people in the House and people in the legislature accusing the Minister of Finance people. And this is just between Minister of Finance and the legislature. Minister of Finance, the budget people in the Minister of Finance, the Finance Authority, and the people in the legislature. And mind you, and let me make it clear, both sides. And people gotta understand this is not a partisan issue because the House people, majority of the House people from my party. And so if this was a partisan issue, I wouldn't be talking. So let it be clear. So my colleague in the executive who believe that I'm doing a partisan business, he's just totally wrong. And if there was a partisan issue, I wouldn't be talking. Because the budget chairman at the House level is a citizen. The speaker from CDC, the deputy speaker from CDC, So I'm asking them, look, under your authority, people say something happened. Under your authority, you guys are the leader. Under your authority, something happened. The speaker said, I'm going to investigate. So this is not a partisan thing. So people will not go to they say, oh, McGill running behind because of partisan and CC thing doing. No. If it was a CC, I wouldn't even be talking. But this is not CC business. This is about the country. Gentlemen, this is about the country.
I wouldn't be sitting out here.
It may not be saying that, yeah, it was a CC business. So we should not politicize the thing is a CC versus United Party. This is not United Party CC business. This is about the country. Both partisans are involved. The people from the executive who they are up there or from the ruling party. But in the legislature there are citizens, officials of the legislature from our party. And as a party, one of the leaders from the party, we are all saying, and the good thing is, even the party itself, even the chairman of the PSC who complained is from CDC. It's from CDC. So there's not about party business. It's not about party business. You now have the PSC chairman, Clarence Guy, complaining. You now have the speaker saying, yes, you know, we got to investigate. The deputy speaker say, yeah, we got to investigate. We want to know what happened, what they want. We are concerned about what happened. This is about transparency. Gentlemen, or distinguished ladies and gentlemen, because they're with me here. This is about transparency.
Should the investigation establish as to whether the altercation was done by the Ministry of Finance?
But whoever.
What would be the next call that the forces here?
But there are rules. When it is established that people manipulate the budget, there are standard procedures. You know, manipulate the budget are crime. Obviously, there are penalties. There are penalties. If people do something, there are penalties. The legal people will take the appropriate action. Who committed a crime? The legislature, they have their own authority. They know what to do. The legislature have their own legal authority. They get their own rule. They want to reprimand somebody at level the legislature do that. But you know the legislature have their own standing rules. But the executive, there are crimes there. So let it be clear that this is not, I want to make it categorically clear that this is not a partisan advocacy. This is not a partisan advocacy. Let it be clear. Because somebody will go tell the president, oh, Mr. McGill running behind you. No, not true. The president gets 0 role to play in this thing here. 0 role. 0. The people will get a problem that 2 groups of people in between our friends, our colleagues. They have information and between the Ministry of Finance. And some of our colleagues have come and affirmed the allegation raised by Senator Coney and Senator Clarence Guy that something was done with the budget. They have affirmed it. And let me say again that the Senate is now opposed to the investigation because we are just demanding or requesting that the investigation should precede any budget discussion. Don't bring a budget. Say, let me discuss the budget and say let me discuss let's discuss the recap and why the investigation going on. No. Investigation first. The start of
this budget are they saying to
of
us?
course. So we want to know what budget we're discussing. Is it the right budget or is it the fake budget? Is it the right budget or the fake budget? So we want to make sure that those things are done. Investigation first. They tell me what are the real budget we're doing. Is that the real budget that budget I will temper with? Then we know how to deal with it. Because we'll give a clear idea how to proceed with that discussion. So when I is done, and that has been our call, and I'm happy that Senator Bility has joined. I know, and so Honorable Bility has joined. I know Senator Suno has joined, and there are other people, even including members of the CDC caucus, including even members of the CDC caucus who are members of the budget committee. They have all agreed that this investigation will be done. So this is not about a partisan agenda. It has no partisan intent. Some of our colleagues believe that this is a partisan agenda. This is not a partisan agenda. Some of them have accused us that we're trying to do partisan thing. If there was a partisan thing, I will not be discussing it because the chairman on the budget committee in the House of Representatives is from our party. In fact, he is the co-chair of the CDC Legislative Caucus. I will not be, of course, he's the co-chair of the CDC Legislative Caucus. We will not be running after him if this was a partisan job. This is about transparency. I want the word in the Liberian people to know that this is not partisan advocacy. So anybody who's trying to make it a partisan advocacy, It's only against transparency. It's only against transparency. And I do not believe that this government, members of the government will be against transparency, because you see what happened? They are investigating people, they're doing a lot of audit reports. It's a good thing. We should all welcome it. When people talk about which one, they just saying, be fair. Don't pick and choose. Don't go to Mr. Bility or Mr. McGill because you have personal vendetta against that person, you investigate the other person, you lead the person, then you go. Be transparent. Be transparent. So thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, General.
For coming, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, so there you have it, Senator Senator Nathaniel McGill, and representative of Nimba County District 7, Musa Bility. They have reiterated calls for the investigation of the alleged budget alteration. According to them, the Senate did not send the budget that was allegedly altered, and the House of Representatives did not send such budget. Thank you.